I had the opportunity to take an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of Shape Waterblast Group's corporate office in Houston. Let's check it out.
In 2024, we moved from a 12,000 square foot office building and about 30,000 square feet in production to nearly 40,000 square feet in production now and about 20,000 in office space. Nice. So the expansion over the last couple of years with the Shape Waterblast Group has been very helpful to kind of putting us in this space. And so as we designed the factory, our chief engineer was very intentional to sit down with the work cell leaders, with the operators to understand workflow dynamics. And so as you can see, we start in here with all the raw material. It's categorized, it's specified, it's tested to make sure that what we're bringing in is what we're getting. And then it goes through an initial disposition, saw, some initial finishing here at these stations. Then after that, it's provided into one of these specific work cells. As an example, we have Swiss machines that do very fine very fine machining production to some horizontal CNC machines, that sort of thing. So after the part makes its way around the production floor, each machinist does a machine side inspection for quality, but in addition to that, every item produced here goes through first article. So after it makes its way around the machine floor, it'll head back to quality. Right. Here on the floor, a pretty substantial mix and variety of machines and skill sets. We do everything from pin production to crankcase machining. Right. So you'll see here our latest investment. This is a Fanic Robo Drill designed really to help us improve the quality and throughput of individually drilled nozzles. So this machine is incredibly powerful, robotic machine that we load recipes based off of customers' nozzle patterns into and produce automatically here. We also have a giant horizontal that will do final machining on Husky crankcases in-house as well. So that was one of the big pushes over the last several years, is bringing final quality control, bringing machining back to Shape Waterblast Group internally.
Cool, man.
So after a part is produced, the next place it heads is to quality for inspection. Good afternoon. So here we have quality. So we have a variety of quality processes that take place here in addition to the first article inspections. Because of the quality and the focus on safety that we have at this pressure range that we produce, especially at 55K, every part that we make is laser etched with part numbers in our brand, so nice. You know it comes from us. We do everything from XRF testing, so metallurgical analysis of the material coming in, and from a failure analysis standpoint, when something comes back in from the field, we verify the material that was there. In addition to that, some of the finest quality control technicians in the business, they're equipped with a variety of tools like we had discussed earlier, but one of the things we like to highlight when we're dealing with such fine machining tolerances, something like this pin that's produced from raw material here, we need to check the spacing and tolerances of every one of these grooves. Wow. This visual optical comparator allows us to load a part number, every single dimensional analysis that needs to take place, and then we get a very quick go, no-go, whether or not it passes or fails. Right. So these tools are instrumental in the quality of the product that we produce, but also the speed at which we can produce. Yeah. So after the quality's been verified, the part's been produced, its disposition is one of several paths. It either goes into small assembly, and so this is foot pedals, this is Mamba guns, this is A3000s. Those are all individually hand assembled and tested by these two individuals here. If it doesn't go into a small assembly, then it's either going into a large assembly or it's going to be sold to a customer as a part. So some of the large assembly, the S50, the Husky 40 and 55K, those assemblies take place here within the major assembly floor. So as you can see, these are 7 electric Huskies in the process of being built for a customer at 40K. After the pump is assembled, one of the changes that we made into the new facility was an installed testing bay that has sufficient power to test everything locally. And so that now is a process which allows us to test every single pump in situation on site before it leaves. Right. We tested every pump prior to this. You just want, it's a little noisy in there. As I was saying earlier, the testing process at the old facility was effective. It was just cumbersome. We had to rent generators. Sometimes we had to take pumps off site. So having everything on site now is just improved the quality of the product we produce.
So this is cool, man. I'm always in the field, but I never get to see like the in-depth of the actual equipment. So this is nice, man.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad. It's nice to be able to show stuff off like this because, again, to your point, it kind of gets lost.
Yeah.
And this is all hands-on operations by folks that show up to work every day and are really excited to do what they do.
Like that piece of equipment you showed me, the smallest pin. Like you don't think about that stuff when you actually out there in the field, man.
Yeah, and those are produced on our Swiss machines. They're basically metal extruded, a very highly technical process. So it's neat the range of which we produce, parts of which we produce here.
Right.
So this is kind of the heartbeat of what we do. Material comes in, is received in, but also these are the folks that get, the product that's needed so valuably to our customers. So shipping and receiving, incredible part of what we do. But if the parts that we produce here don't go into a small assembly and don't go into a major assembly, then they go into inventory to be sold for a customer. And so this is our inventory floor. As you can see, the flow in and out is ergonomically and thoughtfully designed for what we do. Nice. So very proud of this new facility that we have here.
Nice, man. So I got to ask this question. I'm a basketball fan, and whenever I hear the word Mamba, I think of Kobe Bryant and his Mamba mentality. Was that a coincidence, or was that like an intentional name that you guys came up with to show y'all like your growth in the industry and determination of always being better?
I wasn't intimately involved in the naming convention of the Mamba. I don't know the background there. What I do know is the conversations after the marketing folks had branded it, we have discussed sort of an honorific symbology of the Mamba version, doing something like an anodized purple with some yellow or gold on it, or something like that. A3000? Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so we did play around with a lot of this, and what we ended on was let's match barrel to pressure range on the WJTA, but we have talked about doing something to honor Kobe Bryant.
That'd be cool, man. And then whenever I hear A3000, I think of Andre 3000.
Oh, yeah. We should have them. That would be dope, too.
So a lot of our equipment basically has, an elephant to represent the Aquadyne brand. And the Husky is like a wolf, right? An actual Husky. So we wanted to kind of keep that same trend as well. Like, what's the next animal? So, when we started looking at this thing, how it all wraps up, in the floor from, the hoses and stuff, one of our engineers said, hey, what about the Mamba? So at the beginning, when we started farting around with the actual logo and stuff, it was like the skin of a serpent, right? And then we did throw in the yellow and the purple in there, but obviously when we presented it to market and legal, they were like, all right, let's keep it
don't want to
A
give
little bit
away
more simple.
don't want to give away too much, but
Yeah.
the next version is going to be a black and red version. It's called the Goat.
This is like a little bit of the engineering playground. So essentially, this this is the guts, but we went with electrical motors instead of just what it had in the past, where it was just. And then if you lift it off, you can see the bar here. That's what causes the movement here.
Nice, man.
But this thing could rip off about 300 to anywhere from 300 to 500 square feet of material per hour.
Yeah. So when I'm out in the dry dock, this is what I'm seeing a lot of. That right there.
Yeah, the production capability, right? It really 40 to 55K, the speed, first pass quality, and there's lots of good studies about kind of chloride penetration and titration. So not just the rust that you talk about, the oxidation, but also the penetrance, right? And the residual chlorides and chemicals that are left behind. Water does a really good job. One thing we did as we moved into this new facility, we're really excited about. The previous facility, again, was a little bit undersized. We had outgrown it. But also, it was disjointed, meaning production happened in one area, assembly happened in another, kind of sales and administration happened kind of in a third area. And so just having the team together within an accessible area under one roof, communications improved, speed of solutions is improved. So it's been another really neat thing about this facility for
Would
us.
you start by letting us know what you guys do here at APS and the value that you provide to the coatings industry?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Shaun. So here at APS, or the Shape Waterblast Group, we manufacture ultra-high pressure water blasting from basically 0 PSI up to 55,000 PSI.
Nice. Could you tell us what we have here today with us?
So this is the famous Flow Husky. It's been in the market for about 20 years. And this is the star of the show, man.
Nice. I've seen online it's been labeled as a leader of surface prep. What benefit is there to water jetting at this pressure?
Absolutely. A couple things. What we've noticed is, anything above 40,000 PSI, obviously your production rate removals or your removal rates start increasing, right? When you start touching 55,000 PSI, we've seen, contractors mention a big increase between 30 and 40% more in production rate, when it's removing coatings, or how they like to say, eating up the material.
Nice. And we can't talk about UHP and water jetting without talking about flash rust. At that kind of pressure, how does this unit mitigate flash rust or reduce flash rust?
Yeah, so back to our contractor feedback, or even from a technology standpoint, to produce 55,000 PSI, it requires a lot of energy. And the way, energy is released through the jet is by releasing heat. So we've received feedback from customers that right after they do the removal, right behind it, the surface is already dry because of that heat, and they can go, onto painting first pass.
Wow, man, that's cool, man. I wanted to speak briefly about your new jet lens rotary technology, going from the A3000 to the Mamba. What new advances in that technology have you guys made?
So a couple of advancements, from a supply chain standpoint, as the world, faces different challenges, we wanted to make things a little bit easier from a supply chain standpoint. So what we did was we took technology from two different companies, Aquadyne and Flow, and we basically made, the Mamba gun as you guys know it today. So the gun, now is an 11 CFM motor that also was shared with the KMT or Aquadyne gun in the past. Now it's the standard for the Mamba. The other thing that we did was we made some changes from going, for maintenance purposes. We removed the belt-driven drive, and now it's gear-driven. So maintenance is a lot easier. The other thing that we also did was we focused on ergonomics. We got a lot of feedback from a lot of the naval shipyards and a lot of the contractors that wanted something a little bit lighter. So it is a little bit lighter in weight. And the other thing too is based on the ergonomics, it helps with the fatigue on the thrust on the actual operator.
Man, I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of times I see in the field inconsistencies in service prep. You can always be traced back to operator fatigue. So
Absolutely.
it's glad that you guys taking ergonomics and safety into question. So
Thank you,
thank you,
Shaun.
man. I highly appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time.